Welcome to Cozy Coven Chats with Jenny C. Bell, where we explore the journey of the witch. Hey witches, welcome to another Cozy Coven Chat. I'm your host, Jenny C. Bell. And if you have been on this wild ride of crystals with me, I want to thank you. I started this podcast really to talk about witchcraft and the journey. And then with my book coming out, I just really wanted to give you some crystal experience and some crystal insight. So it's been a little mini series. It won't always be about crystals. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little series. And in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about crystal grids and what that means and what that looks like. This is all in prep for my book coming out, Spirit Crystals, Discover Your Crystal Guide for Healing and Empowerment. And I'm super excited. I'm sure you can tell. That's why we're talking about crystal skulls and crystal grids and all kinds of fun things, right? So first of all, I want to say that I do have crystal grids in the book. It's in the last chapter, and I feel they are really suitable for anybody of any kind of experience level of working with crystals. There's actually one for every spirit crystal, but anybody can use them. And today at the end, kind of second part of the podcast, will be a demonstration for those people that are watching on YouTube on how to grid a crystal. So if you are a podcast listener, I thank you. And if you would like to see the second part of this podcast, because I'm not going to leave it here as an audio because you won't be able to see what I'm talking about, hop on over to YouTube. There will be a chapter for when the second part starts, and you can just go ahead and watch that part. My YouTube is Chats with Jenny, right? So, or you can look up Healing with Jenny. Either one, you'll find my YouTube, and I'll be able to show you what I'm talking about with grids. A crystal grid is a shape or a photo or a picture or a space that you use crystals to create some kind of meaning for. So a crystal grid, really, it's a witchcraft. Like, this is why I say the new age and the metaphysical really meet a lot of times with witchcraft. It is a spell. A crystal grid is a spell with crystals. It is very similar to using a sigil or sigil, however you want to pronounce it, or using a rune to enhance your spell work. It really is a crystal spell in essence. So what do you need to do a grid? You need a shape, and you don't always have to have the shape, but I think it's nice. They make crystal grid mats, and you can print them or you can buy them. Etsy's a good place that has a lot of them. You can use photos or tarot cards for gridding. You will also need crystals for the gridding. You can add herbs, charms, seashells, plants, all kinds of things to the grids. You don't even have to use crystals. I know, you could use anything, any kind of little trinket that works for your spell work. So really the possibility of working with grids are endless. It's like a spell. Everybody has their own method. You can use it your own way. You can grid your home. You can grid your land. You can grid a bedroom. You can grid your ritual circle. You can have a grid up always and just constantly kind of clean and tend to it. You can have a grid up sometimes. Like, one of my favorite things to do is do a grid on a new moon and then change it or release it on the full moon. You can do it with like anything, and it's for any purpose. You decide, just like in a spell, you decide the intention and the purpose of the grid before you create the grid with presence and intention. And then the grid does its magic, and then you thank it and you release it. It's really like a spell jar. It's really just like, it really is a spell. And so if you go into it thinking in the terms of witchcraft and a spell as a witch, it'll be so much easier to do. And you don't have to get caught up in like everybody else's rules about grid making, because I read books sometimes and I'm like, I don't think we need to do that. Like, I don't find that helpful. But it's really, again, it's up to the person. So some people really have like these strict rules about it. And some people give their crystal grids Reiki or energy. Some people use like a wand to activate it, very witchy. You can put crystal grids around things. In the latest Tea Witches book, where she talks about crystals and crystal brews. She does that. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Highly recommend. We've had her on the show. So there really is kind of this endless possibility. And so if you want to, you can do a search and you can look up crystal grids and get examples. But I really highly, again, I'm always about the intuition. I really highly recommend using your own intuition when it comes to how you place the crystals, what shapes you're going to put it in, what the purpose is. They're really fun and they're really beautiful. It's a really beautiful thing to have on your altar, to get to visit every day and like give energy to and look at. The spell becomes a living spell and it just feels peaceful. They're very much like a mandala where they're relaxing to look at. So yeah, what you would need, like I said, is the shape, and you can look into sacred geometry, which is beautiful. There's some beautiful sacred geometry. I really like Flower of Life. I like Metatron's Cube. Those are two that I think can work for pretty much any kind of spell. You can definitely look those up or look into them. What kind of crystals work best? I'm going to say quartz family. I think, personally. But again, like I said, you can use charms, you can use plants, you can use flowers. I mean, I make flower grids all the time as part of my outdoor altar. Totally a possibility. You can mix and you can match. It's fun. That's something I think is so important, is that witchcraft is fun. And I think in playful. And crystals are beautiful and fun and playful. It's such a perfect little marriage. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the demonstration part of this. And so if you're listening, thank you for listening. Please go over to YouTube so you can see how to put some grids together. I would love for you to do that. But until then, thank you. As always, thank you for listening. Please subscribe and share with a friend. If you haven't already done so, be on the lookout for my book, Spirit Crystals. Discover your crystal guide for healing and empowerment. Available wherever you buy books.